All right, good morning, everybody. Happy New Year. Welcome to our first Garrison update of the new year. As always, we have a full agenda. Just a couple reminders before we get started. Thank you to the Red Cross for providing coffee, much appreciated. On your tables is a blue and gray sheet. This is a feedback form. Please fill that out if you have any comments for us, and then leave it on the table. We'll collect those at the end. There's also a sign-in roster going around, so please make sure you get that. Make any updates, corrections to that roster for us, please, because we use that as a distribution list for slides. The slides will be posted on the JBLM main page and also the MWR page, so you can look for those. We also record the update, so if you have a question, we do have Steve roving around with a mic. Please wait for the mic to ask your question because it is recorded and the recording will be posted on the MWR webpage. And with that, I will turn it over to Colonel Lucas.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Alicia. We will first start with our recognition like we normally do. So I do have two great individuals from Madigan that we're going to recognize this morning. I know you're hiding in here somewhere. Come on up. So while they're coming up here, I do want to just say good morning again. Welcome to the community update. Happy New Year. Definitely, things seem like they're off to a busy start, but I know 2019 is going to be a good year. It's always great to start the community update with some recognition, and so we do have two individuals from Madigan, and I love that we're doing this because a lot of times when we recognize our civilians, I love to pull them from my Garrison team, but certainly there's the civilian workforce across JBLM does such great work to take care of service members, families, and retirees. So I will start with Miss Linda. So she serves as contact representative for the Patient Affairs Branch, Patient Administration Division. She performed a broad range of assignments with efficiency and accuracy. That's always good. And I love this number. So from 1 October of 17 to the end of 2018, she supported 2 health system specialists, single-handedly tracked and processed a majority of incoming Veterans Affairs compensation and pension examinations, over 900 for the section. These actions assisted the Patient Affairs Branch in sustaining a historic 2-day narrative summary processing time when the standard is actually 5 days. And for all the young people in the room, probably don't care about this stuff, but if you're getting old or thinking about what this means as you transition, it's probably very, very important to what you're doing to take care of service members. So thank you for that. And she also enthusiastically volunteered to take care of the supply section, or the supplies for her section. So as a logistician, I'm always glad to see someone doing logistics, and I know no one ever wants to do it. So again, thank you so much for what you're doing. All right, I'm going to butcher your first name. Okay, great. So this is Ned Jerka. Great. Serves as a beneficiary counseling and assistance coordinator at the Madigan Patient Assistance Center, providing TRICARE benefits, referrals, and claims assistance to service members and retirees and their family members. Since 1 January of 2018, Ned received several ICE compliments on his timely, accurate, and caring assistance, documenting over another great number, 1,900 assistance cases since the 1st of January of 2018. During that same time period, Ned provided 81 TRICARE information briefings, 81 TRICARE information briefings, upon request for service members beginning the MEB process. Service members arriving and departing JBLM and to over 15 organizations participating in the JBLM Mission Readiness Expos. So you played a really big role in the focus that we as an installation had on deployment and mission readiness over the last year. So we really appreciate what you did. And as someone who looks at ICE comments all the time, whenever there's a good one, it's always good to pause and recognize what an amazing individual you are. When someone takes the time to submit one of those that's positive, really speaks volumes. So thank you. want to say anything more? General Graham, sir, over to you for some opening remarks.
Sure. Brief opening remarks you're supposed to add. First off, Happy New Year to everybody. We're going to start off the new year on a bittersweet note because we got to say farewell to our Command Sergeant Major. This is probably your last community update with us. And as sad as it is to send the Command Sergeant Major off, we're really sad to see your wife go. Now, our loss is going to be the Army's gain because he's going to fleet up and he's going to head over to U.S. Forces Korea, work at the 4-star level for General Abrams. So huge responsibility that he's going to fleet up to next. The good news for First Corps is that we're part of his responsibilities down here with our support to the peninsula, and so we couldn't be more proud of him for achieving that level, which is tremendous, and we're just delighted to have him still tied into the First Corps family. So, Sergeant Major, thank you and Carolyn for all you've done for the JBLM community, and I'm going to turn the mic over to you.
Thank you, sir. I am not prepared for a speech, but sir, thank you for those kind words. And you know, I can contribute a lot of the success that I have, that what soldiers do for us every single day, and it's not me alone that really makes me successful in life or in a career. It's the credibility of our soldiers that do. You know, every day I think at what is our purpose every single day, and why do we get out of bed in the morning? Is because we take care of our soldiers and their families so they have a quality of life, so they may go out and work the gates, they protect us, they go deploy, they do things that we don't do as leaders anymore, but we take care of our soldiers so they can perform the tasks, their duties and responsibilities that they can do. Really, that's really our purpose. But we can't do it with the phenomenal leadership that we have here at JBLM, because that's who really takes care of our soldiers. And I've been in about 12 installations in the Army, and I look at where have I been that I believe is the best installation I've ever been to. And we look at housing, and we look at the education system, we look at the PX, and we look at all the agencies across the installation. JBLM has been the best installation I've ever been a part of. And that's because of our civilians, our leadership across the installation, and not only just JBLM, but the outskirts or the communities outside JBLM and our partners with 62nd. This has been, you know, every day I come to work, I've been honored to wear the uniform every day, but I have the privilege to work with all of you, every single one of you, who makes a difference every single day and made a difference for me and my wife. And we will miss all of you dearly. You know, we've met friends and close friends here that we've never had in other places that we've been assigned to. So I've been very thankful and blessed to be a part of this community and organizations. Thank you so much for what you do for our soldiers. Thank you so much for supporting America's First Corps and all the subordinate units under America's First Corps. And if you ever go to Korea, I promise you have a place to stay, and might even cook up some yakumandu for you. But again, thank you, sir, and thank you for allowing me to serve here as part of the team. Cool.
Thanks. Over to the Air Force. Chief, do you have a mic?
To the Air Force, all right. Hey, good morning. I am the oddly dressed person in the room. I like it. Thank you, sir. I see you back there. Air Force strong. So I'm your token Air Force guy this morning, and I want to kind of throw out a couple of things that we do have going on, at least from the 60 seconds perspective, over the next few months, because we've got a really busy 2019 that we've kicked off. So here at the end of the month, at the end of January, we're going to have a nuclear surety inspection. And for anyone that's ever read about nuclear surety in the news, that's the Super Bowl. That's a Super Bowl for a command, because you either knock it out of the park and you win, or you go home sad. And we're going to crush it at the end of this month. So we've got that coming down, and then right after we're done with that, we're going to shut down our runway. So beginning on the 1st of March through the beginning of June, you're not going to see any aircraft flying out of McChord Field. It's going to be kind of weird because it hasn't happened in years. But you're going to see some over at Gray because we're going to be parking 3 or 4 aircraft over there for a few months. So you're going to see more C-17 operations happening on Lewis, Maine than you've ever seen. And that's because of our partnership. So I want to throw that out as really the greatness that we've got going on with this team. And then to echo what Command Sergeant Major Tagg said before, it's amazing what our airmen do. And I'll give you a quick story because Colonel Kern and I were able to recognize some folks this morning from the Department of Public Works, or what I'll claim is the 627th Civil Engineering Squadron. So we had a lot of power outage this weekend, if any of you noticed the high winds. And for the folks that live off base, their power didn't come back on quite as fast as it did on base. So I got up early Sunday morning and I was going to the gym, and I drive down by our golf course and I see a bunch of bucket trucks all lifted up, and I see a bunch of people in uniform out working. And I thought to myself of who I bet was out there, and as I drove by, they were there. The Master Sergeant I knew would be out there, the Tech Sergeant I knew that would be out there, and even the civilian that I figured was probably out there. And they were part of our team, and they were making things happen. And I went by probably 5 more times that day, and they were still out there working. Ended up being an 18-hour day for those guys, and they restrung every power line that was down. And I was so proud of that because those are our airmen, those are our team members. But I thought about how they're able to do that. And they're not able to do that because they're amazing. They are. But they're able to do that because of everyone else in this room that enables them and their families to have what they need to be able to go out and do the mission. And that's not unique to electricians. That's people that work in artillery. That's people that work in the infantry. No matter what you do, we all have an ability to do our job because of the people that enable our families. So to me, that's what I get so excited when I get an opportunity to come over and see this team in action. So I just want to say good morning, Happy New Year, and thanks for what you do, especially to Colonel Lucas and her team.
Thank you.
Good morning. Buck James, Director DP TAMS. Happy New Year. Glad to see everybody back in one piece. I did get some feedback. The course of action that we briefed a couple of community updates ago about saving 1 or 2 of your Amazon packages, wrapping them up, putting your kids' names on them, and then misbehave, you throw them in the fire, worked great. So DV incidents were way down this holiday season. So I'd strongly recommend you do that around their birthdays as well. It'll tighten them right up. As you can see, we've got some personal shred days in February and March. All of the other events that are on there are primarily tied to morale and welfare and recreation, the Ministry of Fun, as I call them. They'll be briefing you on that here in a minute. I do want to highlight, though, we do have several school closures, or the midwinter breaks, so we'll have a lot more of our school-age kids on the installation during those periods of time. Please just be aware of that. Be careful, especially in and around the housing areas. We do have several housing areas that abut the combat vehicle trail that we use to move our strikers and our other heavy equipment, so not a good place to ride your bike. So if you would, just keep an eye out on that. The only other thing I would mention is we are back training in earnest. Our training areas, our ranges are hot again. We also have several large-scale maneuver exercises in the division, as well as the 593rd and some of our special operations units, 201st. Some of those folks are out there training. So you may hear some late-night noise. That's just your soldiers staying ready. So if there's an issue, please call the Public Affairs Office, not me. Next slide. I do want to mention to everybody, unfortunately, the fire season was a little more destructive than we thought. Up on the Lewis North running trail that parallels Solo Point Road, one of the range fires ignited a coal seam. So there actually are coal seams in this part of the world. It burned out much of the undergrowth structure or the root systems of many of the trees that are along there. We've got some very large trees that were weakened by that fire. And the recent windstorms have now created a hazard. So as of yesterday, the access to that running trail has been closed. It's being marked off. The word's going out on Facebook as well as the command channels to make sure everybody knows. We'll get those trees removed as quickly as we can and get the PT trail back open as soon as possible. But if you're not familiar, again, DuPont Stillicum Road, you've got the Solo Point Road. This section of Solo Point Road is off limits to PT. Reason being, there's a lot of construction traffic down there. We've had some accidents, some near misses. So I would strongly, strongly, strongly recommend get the word out to units. And I know the division has already sent out some command grams on that as well. So folks up on Lewis North, please just stay off of that. We'll get it reopened as soon as possible. But if if that is not to your liking, I would just ask you to go ahead and take a Sharpie marker, put your last name and the last 4 of your Social Security number so I can identify your remains when you get crushed. Any questions? I will be followed by the Provost Marshal. You have a great day.
Good morning, everybody. I'm here today. This morning we're going to focus, and really our focus kind of in the next, really coming 4 to 6 weeks, 8 weeks, is on speed. We're specifically looking at in and around our gate areas. The reason is that we drop those speeds down there anywhere from 15. Some gates are 20 miles an hour. So whatever the posted speed limit is at that gate, we're just asking everybody, please slow down. Remember, one, that's primarily for safety, but the second reason is we also have active barriers at most of these gates. And when those barriers pop for whatever reason, they're going to pop inbound and outbound gates. So if you're going slow through those areas, it will allow you time to stop and to avoid getting in contact with those barriers. Speed in general, we've got conditions going on that generally happen this time of year. So you got slick roads, you have wet roads, you got fog rolling in. So please, as you're coming in specifically, for a lot of us around PT time, it's still dark. Sometimes it's foggy and frozen. Please, as a reminder, please message the community and continue to do that to slow down around troop formations, and slow down coming through those gates. So appreciate all your effort out there, and thank you very much.
Good morning, Happy New Year. I'm Joe Peak, I'm the JBLM Garrison Public Affairs Officer. It's time once again for the annual Washington State Patriotic Day. For about 25 or 30 years, this event has occurred in the South Puget Sound area. It's also known as the Massing of the Colors. I'll be putting information out through the Army and Air Force Public Affairs offices, but what this event is an annual opportunity for military units, scouts, first responders, civic organizations, etc., to bring their American flags or their unit colors together. This year it's at Stadium High School for the 3rd year on a Saturday afternoon. And it's a great event, a super patriotic event. Everybody who goes there and attends or watches or participates marvels at what a great day it is. So this is an opportunity. Nobody is tasked to do it, but everybody that supports this event has a great time. And it's on February 23rd at Stadium High School. So now you've heard about it, we'll be putting this out on social media as well for everybody's opportunity to participate. Thank you. And followed by Madigan.
Good morning. I'm Colonel Susie Scott, the Deputy Commander at Madigan Army Medical Center, and I've got a couple slides for you to outline what we've got going on in the month of February. If you could hit the next slide, please. The first thing I'd like to talk about, particularly if you could get the word out to spouses, family members, we are hosting a job fair coming up on the 16th of January. This is primarily focused at our clinical positions, so there's some requirements listed on here to be able to successfully apply for jobs, and we will assist anyone that comes by through the application process on USA Jobs. Really looking to beef up our staffing on that one. Next slide, please. We are going to observe the DOLA along with First Corps on the 18th of January in conjunction with the MLK holiday weekend. We will continue to provide services throughout Madigan for emergency care. So the emergency room, the urgent care center will be open for care. We will have limited pharmacy hours, and then we'll have lab and x-ray available for those emergent situations that occur. And of course, our inpatient tower is always open for you for services. Next slide, please. January is Blood Donor Awareness Month. We are hosting our next blood donation collection on the 22nd of January. This will be our second one at Madigan for the month. What I'd like to encourage you to do is host a blood donation or blood collection of your own. We've got plenty of capacity through the team to be able to come out to you, to be able to host an event at your location. We can help facilitate this. The person that you want to talk to is Victor, and his number is area code 253-968-1903. He'll happily coordinate with you to be able to bring a team out to you to be able to facilitate collection. We currently have to contract out and purchase from external sources for blood. We can't collect enough through our own internal sources. So this is a huge ask of us to be able to help support our own internal to Madigan. Next slide. And then we had some resounding success with our last Facebook Live with regard to answering questions about pediatrics care within the facility. So we are hosting our next one on the 25th of January. So Facebook Live, we will have a team of pediatric specialists running the gamut from primary care to pediatric specialty care, all available to answer your questions and your family members' questions via Facebook Live. Next slide, please. And then as you connect with us, in addition to being on Facebook, we have a number of different media outlets for you to be able to gather information from us. One of the things I would like to point out is that because we are now under Defense Health Agency, our URL to our main webpage has changed from a .army.mil website to a .health.mil website. We get a lot of questions from family members saying, hey, I can't connect to you anymore. And it's because we've transitioned out from being an Army facility to a Defense Health Agency facility and our web connection there. So, subject to your questions, next slide, please. There we go.
Okay,
Thank you.
Great, thanks. No, sorry, I'm next. Okay, so Alicia Grady, Director of Personnel and Family Readiness. We talked to you before the holidays about preparing financially for the holidays, and now it's after the holidays, and if you didn't take advantage of those great tips and programs, we have programs for you after the holidays to fight those holiday bills. So here's a list of all the classes that we have that are available every single month. As a reminder, we will bring this to you. So if you don't want to send folks to our areas over in Waller Hall and scattered across through the Joint Base, we will come to your unit and do these things for you. One thing I want to do highlight that's coming up in February is Military Saves Week. We have a lot of great activities that'll occur during that week. I know it's a little far out, but just want to make sure you have that on your calendar because that's a great opportunity for your units, for your squadrons to organize these activities that we'll bring to you for financial readiness. For our spouses, again this year, for the 4th year in a row, we're happy to host the Hiring Our Heroes, which is part of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. We have 2 great events going on during this week. We have the Hiring Our Heroes spouse event, which is going to happen on February 13th. We have a networking reception. This is a great opportunity for our military spouses who are looking for employment. This is an opportunity for you to network with the employers that will then host a job fair the next day on February 14th for Valentine's Day. So great opportunity for spouses. Please get the word out. We last year, I think we topped over about 173 spouses that attended this event. So we'd like to hopefully increase that number because we have a lot of spouses that can take advantage of these employment opportunities. For our FRGs, for FRGs. We have our Mobilization Deployment Support Program. We do a number of trainings for you, for your units, for your FRG leaders, FRG advisors. Again, we will come to you and do these workshops. I know a lot of you are integrated with my folks over there, the team with Pam Allen and her folks, so please take advantage of these opportunities to help your units prepare for any type of deployments. And then for training for FRG and key spouses, just as a reminder, these are the training opportunities that we have to prepare you to support your units, to support your squadrons during those deployment operations that you have. So please take advantage of those as well. And now.
Good morning, Chuck Markham, Deputy DPW. Before I talk about the slide behind me, just as everyone knows, this is more of the winter season, so our construction season has ended. We were able to complete the Waller Hall parking lot, and Rainier Drive is open, and we have a few outliers that we'll be finishing up here very quickly. So the impacts of construction are very light right now. However, just remind you as we move into the year, a couple big things will be going on, as you've probably noticed, along the I-5 corridor, the construction there, especially right now on the Berkeley, so please be aware of that. There's lots of information being pushed through the PAO channels on road closures, ramp closures, whatever. But again, mostly those are at nighttime from, say, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening till 4 or 5 in the morning. So not impactful to everybody, but some of us are impacted by it. So please pay attention to that. And then as we get information about the startup of the high-speed rail, which would have impacts to us on the crossing side on 41st Division Drive, the main gate area going into Lewis North, and then also the Barksdale intersection leaving the DuPont gate going to DuPont Silicon Road. So we'll be giving you updates on that, but please be aware of all that's going on. Behind me, I just want to introduce to you that we have had a change here within JBLM. We had an award the end of last fiscal year for electrical utility privatization. So the contractor is the new system owner is City Light and Power. That's a new contractor that you'll start seeing some of their workers and some of their vehicles with CLP on the side throughout the installation. They are right now doing, in the transition period, doing inventories with our people until 1 July where they will officially take over. And so you'll be seeing them throughout. They're also looking at setting up their shop areas in the logistics center area, so we'll show you that in the future. As I said, 1 July, they will be the owner, and it'll be pretty transparent to everybody in here. We expect better service than we've been able to provide with our limited resources, kind of what Chief was talking prior in his remarks about when we have power outages and that stuff. We expect some great service. DPW will still remain ownership, and we'll be working, again, the airfields, all the power on both Gray Army Airfield and McChord Field, parking lot lights, and then any exterior building lights. Those will still be our responsibilities. No changes. If you have any electrical issues, still you call our number there that's listed. Same there. And we expect CLP to be great partners with us. As I said before, they are owners at other installations and have to have some great support for them. So we expect the same thing. For your information, our water and wastewater systems are also in the acquisition phase for potential award and privatization of utilities, privatization for them, but that would not be maybe towards the end of this fiscal year. However, that's in flux because of the budget situation and what's going on there. But potentially, water and wastewater will follow this same mode here. So, any questions for DPW? Okay, I'll be followed by a couple of my people, sustainability, and then also some housing. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Kathy with the Environmental Division, Sustainability Outreach for the Directorate of Public Works. So on your tables, you've got some don't flush trouble. Your toilet is not a trash can. It's a big push we're pushing this season. Just letting you know those flushable wipes that say they're flushable, in fact, are not flushable, causing a lot of problems at our wastewater. And so I gave you 2 pieces of paper to pin up to your stall walls or in your restrooms on the door in, whatever, just so you know. We're trying to limit some of the problems we're having. Next slide. Heaters. Space heaters need to be authorized. Right now it's chilly. Most offices are kind of cold. Once again, touch base with us and reach out and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Next slide. Winter readiness. So Go Lewis McChord is our program that we work with Pierce County here on JBLM, and we provide transit shuttles, bike share, and van pool, carpool options with a lot of different incentives. So if you're not feeling confident about driving in the winter, hook up with a van pool, hook up with a carpool. You get a $260 mass transit benefit program, so that's a credit to you. And you need to think about that. Just keep those cars off the road. And once you get here, we can drive you around in our Go Transit shuttle. They run every 20 minutes on a schedule. So GoLewisMcChord.com. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Nancy Barnes with Public Works Housing Division. And what you're seeing here is the new rate for 2019 VAH that went into effect 1 January. As you can see, there's some yellow up there. E1 through 7 showed a slight increase, and pretty much the senior NCO, E8, E9, field grade and up showed a decrease. Next slide. Without dependent rate, the two ranks, 06 and 07 and above, showed a decrease. So overall, what DA is saying is that JBLM had a increase of 3% with dependent rate and without dependent rate. And for the on-post housing, they showed a less than 1% decrease overall. And we'll work that. I will stay behind in the corner over there if anybody has any individual questions. One thing I want to remind everybody, anyone that was assigned to JBLM before January 1 has been grandfathered in at the higher rate. Anybody coming in after will see these particular rates. This last slide, I put this in here. You can contact your BAH service representative if you have any questions. And we have sent a appeal to this BAH committee to see why it went down. Okay, any questions? Okay, thank you.
Good morning. I'm B. Westcott Curl, and I'm the Chief of Child and Youth Services. I'm here to announce the DOD, note this is not Army, DOD fee policy is in effect, and rates will change 1 February for our patrons. Next slide, please. Some of the differences that we have here is that we're charging our contractors full rate. They are not allowed to be subsidized, and so it's not really a problem here because right now all we're serving are the military because that's what we have space for. So, but they will, if once we get space and they want childcare, they're going to have to pay a little extra. We are doing fees for 50 hours a week for childcare. Now, if the mission requires it and I get a little happy gram from a commander saying, hey, my people need to stay later, we will work with G9 MCOM headquarters to subsidize that. So there's going to be no expense to the service members if they're having to work late for the mission. Next slide, please. Total family income rates are changing. Note when you get your increase plus your new BAH rates, child care tends to go up. Sorry about that. Fee increases between $2 and $24 a month for folks. It's not a significant one. Big one that we think is hourly care is going from $4 an hour to $5 an hour. Still the best rate in town. Sports and fitness fees are increased slightly. They're going to be more on a sliding scale depending on what sport it is and how much equipment we need. Next slide. These are some of the difference with current season right now. For our developmental sports, it stays the same. For those doing soccer and baseball, it's going to be between 45 and 65, and some of the other activities are 65 and up. This is because we don't get funded really for sports and fitness, so we're having to increase the cost to match the staffing. Next slide, please. We have the child care fee policy on our website. If you are here and would like to bring more information back to your folks, in the back I have Cindy with our outreach services. Stand up, Cindy. And she has all the paperwork to include. If you really want to read about the laws and policies that are behind this, we even have that for you. So we're really trying to get the word out and help people navigate this. For those of you wondering about our child care and getting in, because there is a long waiting list, we have had some new things happen where we're actually getting staff on board in a more expedited rate. And so we had closed classrooms. We had 16 closed classrooms in a closed building. We're now at about 10 closed classrooms. So we are seeing significant changes in that. So we will try to get you in and do our best. If you have any questions, in the back will be after this. Thank you.
Good morning, Kelly Wetzel with MWR, with the Ministry of Fun. We'll talk about some of the things that are happening in the next few months. Wine and Canvas, Commander's Cup Volleyball you need to know about, because if you are going to field a team, you've got to get somebody to that meeting so that you can field a team. But let's concentrate on a couple of events that are coming up. First is game night on the 18th of January at the McChord Pub. It's something new that we're starting to get the younger airmen and younger soldiers who are living on McChord or who want to drive over to McChord, to get them out and get them into the club and the pub to have a good time. So it's not just we're not throwing Monopoly and Yahtzee out on a table and expecting them to play. We're going to be playing Super Smash Brothers on the 18th, so there'll be a tournament, so appealing to a different demographic. And then starting in March, every Friday night, we will have some sort of a tournament, some sort of a game night. So if you've got to just be 18 to show up and get into the pub, so that's something. And then right underneath that is Latin night, 25th of January at Sam Adams Cascade on Lewis, Maine. We have done a Latin night earlier in the year, and it was extremely successful. So we are going to plan to do this about every 6 months on base. And we're actually planning a huge New Year's Eve party Latin night for next year. So we're planning a year out now. But we have a lot of traction on this event, and they're expecting a really big crowd, so it should be a fun event that night. Next slide, please. So coming up in February and March, the one that we need to talk about is the Rising Star competition. JBLM Rising Star is a singing competition. So if you know somebody with a great voice, they can come out and compete. It's a weekly competition. It'll be at the McChord Club in the pub every Friday night in February. And we do have big prizes at the end. But it's an elimination. We've got judges on board. The audience has some participation involved. So if you've got somebody in your unit or squadron who can sing, or somebody in your office, you can go and cheer them on. But it's a big deal, and so you get to be the JBLM Rising Star for the year. And then a little down the list, we've got Brewfest coming up on the 8th of February. And then moving into March, the Shamrock and Run kicks off our run season for the year. So you can come out, dress in your funky Irish costumes, go out and run. We're starting a little later in the day this time. It used to be a morning run. Now we're starting in the afternoon. And we're kicking off at the Sam Adams Brew Pub on Lewis, Maine. So there will be green beer. They're talking about having shepherd's pie there for you. So it'll be a big St. Patrick's Day celebration. And then we're going to bring back Wine and Jazz Fest. That's another one of those really popular events that we've done at the club. So we're going to do it about every 6 months. So the next one is in March. And then my last slide. So just because it's kind of yucky outside, folks don't want to go out. They want to stay and want to play on their Xbox, stay in where it's warm. This is just my encouragement for you to get out and play. I'm wearing my rubber galoshes today. If you can't help but go outside. So these are some of our outdoor recreation trips that we've got coming up in the next few weeks. So snowshoeing at Comet Falls. We've also got a basic kayaking skills class, which is done in the swimming pool indoors. So if you're really worried about going outside. Cross-country skiing. And then for those of you with a camera, maybe you got a new camera for Christmas, you're not quite sure how to use it. We've got some photography classes, or you've got Photoshop on a computer and you're not sure, how can I make my photos better? We have a Photoshop editing class coming up. One of the guys over at the Outdoor Rec program is a fantastic photographer and teaches all of our classes. So it's an opportunity for you to increase your skills in photography and then also get out. And then our basic Alpine course on January 30th to get you out. If you think that, whenever you see that mountain come out and you think you want to climb, they can help you do that. Does anybody have any questions? Great, thank you.
Good morning. I'm Sergeant Dicker with BOSS. So I'll be going over some stuff we did last month and the stuff that we're going to do this month. So last month we have our annual Rent a Santa, which we rent Santas to unit events and stuff, and children get to have fun, take pictures with Santa, and get gifts from the parents through Santa. And we had 8 volunteers, and we raised about $1,000, $380 in 14 events. And for that 8 volunteers, they pull out a 23.5-hour volunteer hours. And two of those volunteers is Sergeant Nagu and Sergeant Alexandra. So today at 1300, we will be giving them a little token of our appreciation. So if you want to come around and see and join us, 1300 for our annual monthly bus meeting represent. Next slide, please. So for the recreation and leisure, we had our annually half-days event, which starts from the block leaf to the end of the block leaf. So we had go-karting. We took about 20 single service members to the go-kart arena in Tacoma. They did about 20 laps in the go-kart arena. And we had ice skating and trampoline house, which is, we went around doing like acrobatics and stuff. You could actually, if you want to see the pictures of these, we have pictures and videos of all the events that we did, and it's in our Facebook. Just go to Facebook, type in JBLM Boss, and you see all those pictures and videos. Next slide. And this month, we have volunteering opportunities. We went on the feet to the veteran transition home, which is in Port Orchard. And they were told to move from one building to another building within 2 days because the fire department wanted them to move. So we took about 25 beds and bed frames, and we moved our cabinets and other stuff. And we have another opportunity coming up on the 12th, this Saturday. So if you want to volunteer, we will depart Warrior Zone at 9 a.m. And we'll go out there about 2 to 3 hours and help move the rest of the stuff. And for the boss event that's coming up next is on the 26th, which is the snowboarding. We have a lot of people that sign up for that, want to sign up for that already, because we have all, like me, I'm from the tropics. We have people that haven't seen snow, and they would love to go out there and have fun. And that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Good morning, JBLM. Yeah, I'm Chaplain Young Kim, Garrison Ops and Plans Chaplain. On behalf of Garrison Chaplain Randy Brandt and our RSO team, Happy New Year. As you know that our Garrison Chaplain and our team provide 18 worship services and masses and more than 60 different programs per week. That's a lot. One of them is PWC. PWC, we have 2 locations. We have at the North Chapel, and the other one is at the McChord Chapel. Starting from 15, Tuesday, every Tuesday at North Chapel, and 17th of January at the McChord Chapel, every Thursday, start from 9:30 to 11:30. All women's, you're more than welcome, okay? Child care provided. All right, next one is the Faith and Family University Night. Every Wednesday evening, 1800 hours at Lewis Main Chapel and the McChord Chapel. If you have any more questions, please contact our DRE, Brian O. Next slide, please. First Sunday of Lent is on 10th of March. Okay, so we will provide special services and masses and event. First one is Ash Wednesday service and the masses. Catholic masses, we have 4 of them, 2 12 o'clock and 1800 hours at Main Chapel, the other one at the McChord Chapel. Soldiers Chapel, we're going to have just a Protestant congregation Ash Wednesday Mass, 12 o'clock. All right, next one, please. Religious, we have a combined Protestant Good Friday service at Main Chapel, 1900 hours. And the other information is Easter sunrise service, 21st April, 6 a.m. at the Watkins Parade Field. Okay? And you have flyers for the Catholic Mass schedules during the Lenten season and others as well. And I didn't put here a very important slide, which is JBLM National Prayer Breakfast. It's scheduled for 2nd May, 7 o'clock in the morning at McChord Club. Let me give you one spiritual tip, which comes from Romans chapter 15, verse 13. May the God of hope fill your hearts with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. And wherever you go, whatever you do, may the God's mercies and goodness shall follow you, not only entire this year, but all the days of your life. Amen. God bless. Next.
Good morning. My name is Lisa Campbell. I'm one of the assistant grocery managers at Lewis, Maine. This year, the Fisher House Scholarship Military Program is currently accepting the applications. However, this year, the applications will only be accepted online. The commissaries will not collect the applications. We cannot assist you. You have to do all the stuff online this year. The applicants started from December 14th. It ends February 15th. And the notifications of who the recipients will be before May 10th. You can look online to see who are the winners. Good luck to all the children that apply. Next slide, please. The JBLM McChord Commissary will be having their Shop Your Big Game Party Needs January 30th through the February 2nd. Next slide. And Lewis, Maine, my store. We will be having our sale Touchdown of Savings January 31st through the 5th. If you're planning to order any party trays, big party plans, please call the numbers that's on the screen. Thank you.
Morning, this is Sylvia Wells with the Exchange. On this slide, I just want to highlight that both of our main stores will be closing early one day this month due to our annual inventory. Lewis Main Store will be closing at 2000 on the 28th, and McChord Main Store will be closing at 1800 on the 31st. Below you'll see some specials on some healthier options. And while I'm speaking of healthier options, on the next slide, you see you can enter for a chance to win Robert Irvine in person for a cookout for you and your guests. All you have to do is enter a 500-word essay, 500 words or less, on militaryfitfamily.com. Your essay needs to be submitted by January 21st in order to qualify. And on the next slide, just a quick reminder that on McChord, in our food court, we have our party corner. And you can make reservations by just calling 253-581-5145. Thank you.
Hi there. I'm Laura Basie. I'm the first VP for the Spouses Club. And I know most of us in here are not spouses. They're soldiers and service members. But I really wanted to talk to you because actually we need your help. We have a bunch of things going on. I'm not going to read the slide to you. I know y'all can read. 22nd March, though. That's our annual charity event. The Spouses Club is here to make that community, to get spouses from all branches together, Army, Air Force, Marine Corps, everyone. And then what we do is we raise money, and we do it so we can give it back to your families. So the reason that the Spouses Club comes here and talks to you is because we do need your help for this event. What we're looking for is, particularly, is for units, organizations, whomever, to donate anything they can, because there is a silent auction and there is a live auction. And that money, 100% of what we make from that, goes right back to your children, your soldiers' children, your soldiers' families, your airmen' families. We give it through grants and scholarships. It is a huge part of what we do, is helping. And so we're looking for those donations. We're looking for them by the end of February. Anything that you can give, that your unit can give, is so appreciated. Even if you think it's too small, we have a retiree spouse who's like a little angel, and she puts it all together into a basket, and so it doesn't even have to complete a full basket. Anything you can do really helps. And this is a big thing. We gave away I want to say $30,000 to $40,000 last year. So this is not some small thing, and it goes right back to JBLM soldiers and airmen's families. Other than that, we're also looking for, JBLM is unique because I know that units have those community partnerships. So as you're talking to your community partners, if you can mention ACE Night, invite them to ACE Night. This is for them as well because we're doing a derby night, and there's nothing more fun than getting dressed up for a fun night out. So they can donate, businesses can donate, they can also come and attend and have fun. And then membership. Our membership fee went down to $15 right now, and so that gets your spouses, male, female, again, any branch, we love everyone, to come, and we do luncheons, we go travel and see sights, we get out of the house. Someone was talking earlier today about this rain. Love the rain, but also we like to get out and read books and drink wine and drink coffee and go do fun things and meet people. So the membership fee is down to $15, and I think that's it. If you have any questions, I'm always here by the end of the day. We have a great website, but please help.
I'm Angie Melnick with the Fort Lewis Family Member Scholarship Fund. We collect money from organizations on post and local organizations to give money back to dependents of active duty soldiers. Last year we gave out about $60,000 in scholarships to children and spouses of active duty members. You can find all of our information for the application and eligibility requirements online. So please share that information with your families so that they can get on there and get scholarships. I think the largest scholarship we gave out last year was about $10,000 to one recipient. So it can really help. And since we are a smaller organization, our treasurer directly sends the check to the university of choice. So we've gotten feedback that people really like our scholarship, winning our scholarship, because it's some of the first money that hits their kid's account or their account if they're the spouse that's going. So please check out our website. The deadline for postmark is 15 March. So please share that with your families so that they can start working on that application and get it submitted. Thank you.
Sarah Luna, South Sound Military Communities Partnership. Connect Kit, as the name implies, connects military members, whether they're active duty, reserve, guard, dependents, with resources that are in the community, as well as providing information from those resources that are on JBLM. So if you know of information on JBLM that you would like included in these kits, please let me know. This information can include education, healthcare, social services, transportation. It runs the gamut. Ideally, it's within walking distance of wherever this kit is distributed. The kit is distributed by someone who has mental health first aid training equivalent or above, and this is very important that the really key intent of this is as a proactive approach to addressing behavioral health. So we have a mental health first aid training as well on March 26th that is open to all of JBLM members. If you're interested, there are flyers on the table about the Connect Kit as well as that training. The Connect Kits are valued at $40 each. Of course, that's no cost to anyone who's receiving them. And they are available at the various locations that you see. It may also depend on timelines. So right now at Telecom and Lakewood libraries, they are available. At the Pierce College Steilacoom campus, the Veterans Resource Center, they are available. St. Martin's University will begin distribution in the near future. There is an event in March Thurston County Schools will have, and we will have 300 kits available there. Clover Park School District through the Human Services Organization, City of Yelm, that's in the works, and then City of Lakewood through the Parks and Recreation Department. So if you also know of other organizations that would benefit from distributing these kits, we have that potential. And there's my contact information. The pilot runs until June. I've got a table in the back. Ms. Tina Hernandez, SSMCP intern, is also there helping with that. And if there are any questions, thank you.
Hey, good morning. My name is Rick Souza. I'm a volunteer with your JBLM Boy Scouts of America programs, not to be confused with Girl Scouts of America. So I want to talk to you real quick. I've got about 60 seconds to talk about our programs here on JBLM. I have 2 packs. That's our elementary school program, kindergarten through 5th grade. Both programs here on post welcome girls and boys. It's been a big brouhaha over the last year and a half. It's been a massive success by every conceivable metric that I have seen here on the installation. We also have 1 troop, that's our 6th grade on up, for boys. They've been around for 100 years. We're about to celebrate our 100th anniversary in March. We're excited about that, so keep looking out for some information on that. I'm also working right now to start a Girls Scouts BSA troop. So it's at our 6th grade through 8th grade, or through 18, for girls. Everybody who wants to earn Eagle, that you girls never had the chance to, you women out there, now you can. So I'm trying to start that. What I need from you guys, I need volunteers. You all have soldiers that need to get out of the barracks. You all have family members that need to get out of the houses. You all have units that have young children, high school age children. We need volunteers, we need youth. If you have any questions, feel free. That's my email up there on the board. I'll be around after the meeting. Ask me questions, hit me up, and we'll see what we can do to plug everybody in that wants to join. Thank you.
All right, wow. So thank you to all the presenters. We did a great job of getting through a lot of material. And we just gave you tons of things to do to keep your kids off of Fortnite. So please share these slides. Like I've said before, we package these so that hopefully they're usable right at your FRG meetings or your own meetings at your brigade and battalion level to help spread the word. So hopefully, again, remember it's recorded, so anyone can watch it anytime during the month if you miss it. So just a couple of things that I want to cover in closing before I hand it over to some closing comments. So I know all of you knew or witnessed the windstorm that we had last weekend. Big thank you to everybody that helped with the cleanup. As many of you know, it is not done yet. It's ongoing. Obviously, we focus on the mission critical things, the life, health, safety things that we need to first, but the installation still obviously looks like it needs some cleanup. So you can help us. The only thing I'll remind you is if it's in housing, it'll be Lincoln. So if you have, because I say this all the time, right? I can't be everywhere, but we are everywhere. So if there's something that we on the installation need to know as a result of this windstorm, please let us know. So if it's in housing, you call Lincoln. If it's on the rest of the installation, you call DPW. I'll tell you even to call the MP desk. You can call the JBOC. Just make sure that we know that there's something that needs some attention because as many of you know, the whole region took a hit and the installation was obviously not immune to that, but we'll keep getting after it and we appreciate your help. As always, if you see something, just let us know. Light bulb out, sprinkler head going off for 4 days straight. It happens. So please keep doing that. Another reminder about the Solo Point running trail. That's a safety assessment we did, so please get the word out on that. It is not, Solo Point tends to be a sensitive issue, but what we're doing there with the running trail, we have to do in order to get, till we get that situation under control and make it safe again. You heard it before, and many of you know, all of you that are on the installation, and especially the ones that live on the installation, you know that speeding is a problem on JBLM, and it's everywhere. We're focusing on the gates, but we're also, as we can, we'll continue to focus the rest of the installation, particularly the housing areas I know are the ones that cause big concern. So please help us message that it's really important to slow down, especially this time of year when you can only see for about 8 hours of the 24-hour period. Just a quick warning about black ice. We've had a pretty good winter so far. We're optimistic for the rest of the winter, but we're definitely in that season where we're gonna see black ice. And remember, a lot of folks that haven't been stationed in this area before, or this is their first winter here, you don't wanna learn about black ice for the first time at 5:45 in the morning when you're speeding on post. So please help us, incorporate that into your briefs. Although, quick note on the Hiring Our Hero Spouse event. Again, this is one of those that if you can please help us spread the word on. These are wonderful events. They're really well resourced. They are historically very low or poorly attended. So please help us spread that word to spouses. There's childcare, there's opportunity there, great networking. doesn't cost them anything. So, and I struggle with this all the time about why is it that nobody comes? And you know, you look at all this information, you know, so we're always trying to find ways to make sure we're getting the word out properly. But I realize most of the time it's probably you that has the most impact and influence. So please help us with getting spouses to that event. My last, I have one tip that I get to share things because I'm in my second year of command. So if you live in Broadmoor and you heard about that sunrise service and you're like, oh, that's too early, I'm not coming, you should come because you're going to hear it anyways. And yeah, so and I learned that we all learned that last year. So lastly, my homework for everybody, or my tip, is, you know, we talked a little bit about the I-5 construction. That is started in earnest, and it will go for the next 5 or 6 years. So the thing to remember is there's 14 gates. Any gate that you go in will get you to where you need to go on JBLM. You can access the entire installation from wherever you are. So please learn another gate. We are creatures of habit. The civilians, I love you, but you're the most guilty of this, that we are just so used to our routine, and this is the gate I go in. But please, please take some time to learn those routes. It is not hard to find our way across Unity Bridge, right, guy? You know, I mean, it is very easy to get around this installation if you learn another way. And as that construction continues, you have to be able to ingress and egress the installation from another gate. And so that's for us, right? But what I'm really talking about is all of our family members and everyone who are, you know, are taking those, that have those critical jobs to be able to get to kids and things that we need them to when we can't. Please help spread this message that there are 14 ways to get in and out of JBLM, and it really, really will help you in a pinch if you know a few of those. So that's your homework as we continue through the I-5 construction season. Thanks again for everyone for being here. Happy New Year. I'm really looking forward to supporting you again in 2019. So in closing, I'll hand over to Chief Sandusky. Chief, do you have any? And sir? All right, Happy New Year.